So the first thing you can imagine is like a duck, a really fat duck, which is swimming in the river. But it's like whoa, it's a really fat duck looking in the sky. It has like a small nose pointing up. Looks like he's pregnant. Went through a lot because there is a hole in his body. What else? I'm not really sure how to describe this. Also could be someone trapped in a suit. Like more than one person. But the shape is like a duck in the river. But it has gone through a lot. That's why it's like a bit damaged body. Yeah.
So I would say that from far it looks a bit like the shape of a bird, like a duck or something, with half a sphere on the bottom, and then on the top of this half sphere a circle linked with a small cylinder, kind of. And then on this half circle, which is on the bottom, there is a few holes or material that goes into the inside. There is one big one on one of the side of this half sphere, and this big hole takes like I would say take 1/3 of the length of this half sphere. When we go inside this hole, there is also small irregularities, like if there is metal punch metal. Then there is on the top of this hole, on this half sphere, there is one little part that is going out, like a little finger, but in more thick. And with under this part that is going out, there is also a sphere that is going like a hole, kind of a hole. Actually, it's not a hole since the beginning. It's just pushed material into the inside. So under this little finger, there is again a half sphere pushed into the big half sphere. Then on the top of this half sphere, there is again a kind of hole, but which is actually the material that is going into the inside. And there is one bigger one. It's kind of irregularities. And yeah, on the head of this duck, so the sphere that is linked to this big half sphere with a cylinder, there is also irregularities with parts that are going more in the inside, like a rock. Actually looks like a rock. It actually looks like a rock that is on this half sphere in a, like in balance, put in balance on this sphere. And yeah, I think that's it.
So this is a rounded shape which reminds me of maybe a heart from the bottom angle, and from the top angle it's like a head of a person curled up holding a child. From the side, like a squashed ball with a jagged rock on the left side of it. It has some indents on one side, like finger impressions, and the other side is smoother and rounded with some sharp points. This angle looks like a duck. That's what I think of.
Okay.
So basically, it looks, if I have to compare it to something organic, it looks like a kind of animal laying on his back and holding his legs. Okay, it's half a sphere on the lower part. On one side, there's a hole in the middle of the sphere, and on the top of the sphere, you have some irregularities. The whole sphere is not perfect at all, but on the top left part, there's a little like excrescence with like a kind of shape that is linked to the corner of the sphere, like to the half, to the top part, and this shape is like maybe 1/5 of the bottom sphere, and it has more or less a round shape. It could be compared to a sphere, but it's a kind of angular sphere. It's not perfect at all. It's more elliptic, like oval, than completely round. And so together those shapes form this kind of like the top left part could be compared to the head of a kind of animal with angles and all kinds of parts, whereas the bottom part is more organic, but more like a rock, or like a I don't know, like a multifacets kind of sphere. I don't know how I can what I can add. It's grey. It's grey, and it's all connected with like the two parts are connected with a very, very small connection point, which makes the top smaller sphere look like it's kind of floating or escaping from the main part.
Move around.
It's a three-dimensional shape, virtual shape, organic, with basically a lot of bumps and reliefs. It's basically round like a potato, with an extension like a germ, like a similar shape to a basic shape that I just described, but way smaller. I would say like an eighth of the main shape I just described. It's gray, metallic gray, and it has grids that determine the reliefs. I would say it's a potato, but with the extension, looking from different perspectives, up, down, and turning it around, I would say it's like a little duck. It's basically made out of bumps, very organic shape, very irregular. They're both connected by this little kind of neck. I don't know, that brings them together. And that's it, I guess. And it's floating. Like, it's not standing on anything, it's just a virtual 3D shape. Like suspended on the air, I would say. So it is a three-dimensional shape. It's all grey. First, there is the main body, I would say, which is quite big. There are some. It's like a round, maybe more like an oval, but there are some holes in it. There is a first hole on the right side, and then there is another one on the top, and another smaller one on the right side. All in all, it's not a perfect shape. It looks more like a potato. Then on top of the big oval shape is another smaller little ball, which is like another also quite uneven round shape. All in all, I would say it looks a little bit like a whale with a main big body and then a smaller one for the tail. Even if I said the shape is round, it's not exactly true, because it's the shape is like a rounded shape constructed with all geometrical facets that are assembled.